हाँ, इस लेसन में हम डिस्कस करेंगे व्हाट आर द कॉजेज ऑफ डिक्रीज इन डिमांड। एज वी नो, increase in demand or decrease in demand is due to the factors other than price. So the factors other than price, we know the factors other than price, or for example income hai, price of related goods, that is price of substitutes and price of complements, weather hai, tastes, preferences, habits, fashions hai, तो population hai. There are so many factors other than price which are responsible for decreasing the demand of a commodity. How abruptly or suddenly the demand of a commodity decreases due to change in the factors other than price. What are those factors? We can say these are called causes of decrease in demand. One of the causes, for example, decrease in the price of, or decrease in income of consumers. Income of consumers. पहला जो फैक्टर हम यहाँ उठाते हैं, that is, if income of the people decreases, income of the consumers decrease, they will decrease the consumption. That means they will decrease the demand in the market. Number second is decrease in the price of substitutes. अगर substitute goods का जो price है वो decrease होगा, decrease in price of substitutes. इसी तरह थर्ड वन है increase in price of complementary goods. अगर complementary goods का जो प्राइस है वो इंक्रीज होगा, अगर फॉर एग्जांपल पेट्रोल का प्राइस इंक्रीज होगा तो कार्स की जो डिमांड है वो कम होगी. सो वी कैन से it is decrease in demand for cars is due to increase in price of the petrol, because petrol and cars are complementary goods. इसी तरह अगर ये इसमें फैशन में चेंज इन फैशन, tastes, preferences, people change their preference from this commodity to another commodity. Habit में change आ गया, people have left the consumption of this commodity abruptly or suddenly due to one or the another reason. इसी तरह change in weather, weather में अगर change आ गई, इसी तरह अगर population decrease हो गई, decrease in population. So these are some of the causes responsible for decrease in demand. Decrease in demand, very easy. First one is decrease in income of the people, income of consumers. If people of income of the people decrease, they will decrease their consumption, decrease in price of substitutes, decrease in price of complementary goods, change in fashions, change in weather and change in population. इसी टॉपिक में ऐड करूंगा, ये टॉपिक अब कंप्लीट हो गया, अब मैं और एक चीज यहाँ पे और डिस्कस करूंगा, दैट इज इसी के साथ भी हमारे पास टाइम है. व्हाट इज डिमांड फंक्शन? व्हाट इज डिमांड फंक्शन? Demand function. The demand function is a name given to the relationship between quantity demand of a good and its factors which affect it. Generally, demand changes due to change in its price. So generally we use this word. Generally we use this word for price factor, relationship between price and quantity demand. But we can use this word to the all factors, relationship between price and quantity demand, relationship between demand and income, relationship between demand and fashions. So we have so many factors other than price. Generally we use the word it shows demand function is the relationship between quantity demand of a good and the factors which affect it. So the relationship between quantity demand of a good and its factors is called a demand function. Generally it is relationship between, ये उस रिश्ते का नाम है जो डिमांड और उसके फैक्टर्स के दरमियान है, उस रिश्ते को हम कहते हैं डिमांड फंक्शन. इट इज रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन प्राइस and quantity demand of a good, other things remaining same. अगर प्राइस के ही दरमियान हो तो हम ये कह सकते हैं therefore quantity demand is function of price. और अगर ये दूसरे के साथ है तो डिमांड फंक्शन हम कहते हैं quantity demand is function of price, income, weather, fashions, price of related goods, py, this is demand of x and this is price of x. So this is quantity demand is function of price of good, income, weather, fashions, price of related goods, habits, preferences, etc. So this is the functional relationship between quantity demand of a good and its price, other things remaining same, is demand function. Simple, very simple. Demand function is relationship between quantity demand and the factors which affect it. So that is called a demand function or functional relationship between price and quantity demand of a good, other things remaining same. If these things are kept the same, then it is relationship between price and quantity demand. This small line which we put above every this identity, it shows these factors are same. So the functional relationship between price and quantity demand of a good, other things remaining same, is demand function. The next एक छोटा सा क्वेश्चन इसमें और है एक, why demand curve slopes downwards from left to right? This question is sometimes asked in the examination. Question is, why demand curve slopes downwards from left to right? क्या वजह है कि डिमांड कर्व स्लोप करता है डाउनवर्ड्स फ्रॉम लेफ्ट टू राइट? इसका स्लोप क्यों है डाउनवर्ड या नेगेटिव स्लोप क्यों है? There are so many causes responsible for it. The main cause है, first cause is, आंसर हम लिखेंगे, there is opposite relationship between price and quantity demand of a good. There is opposite relationship between price and quantity demand of a good. Other things will remain the same. There is opposite relationship or inverse relationship or negative relationship between price and quantity demand of a good due to this fact, the demand curve slopes downwards from left to right. When this relationship happens, or this opposite relationship happens between price and quantity demand, so many things happen. Many things, बहुत सी चीजें हो जाती हैं. Due to this fact, or due to the fact that opposite relationship between price and quantity demand, there is change in number of consumers. There is change in number of consumers. So when opposite relationship happens between price and quantity demand, there is change in number of consumers. How? When price falls, quantity demand increases because so many consumers shift their consumption from one commodity to another commodity. Number B is price effect. Price effect. It is same as price effect means when price changes, number of consumers change their preference, their taste, their habits. Next is income effect. Due to income effect, there is downward sloping demand curve. Income effect means when price falls, the real income of consumers increase. So when real income of consumers increase, they will purchase more and more. D is substitution effect. So due to opposite relationship between price and quantity demand, these things happen. Abruptly, these things happen. Substitution effect. Substitution effect means when price of a good changes, people substitute one commodity for another. They shift from one commodity to another commodity. That is called substitution effect. Also, we have next law of diminishing marginal utility. Law of diminishing marginal utility. So when we will discuss the utility chapter, we will discuss what is diminishing marginal utility. Diminishing marginal utility means when more and more units of a good is consumed, its utility decreases, its importance decreases for us. It gives less and less utility for us. So these are some 5 causes. There is change in consumers, number of consumers for the commodity, either increases or decreases due to price change. When there is price change, there is price effect naturally. When there is price change, there is income effect. That means real income effect, not absolute income effect. Substitution effect. When price changes, there is change in consumption of one commodity for another. People shift from one commodity to another. They substitute one commodity for another. If price of, for example, Lux increases, they shift to other commodity for Nirma. It is substitute. If price of petrol changes, the demand for cars change. So this is substitution effect. Law of diminishing marginal utility. When a good becomes, for example, costly, people do not prefer that good. It is utility for the people decreases and they will purchase less and less. So these are the reasons why demand curve slopes downwards from left to right. Thank you very much.